there's one word that appears in almost all job description, and that word is ownership. Every employer and their neighbor wants someone who has an ownership mindset to handle stuff in their company. But what does ownership even mean? My name is Deyi-Daniel, and I'm building a community of 100 million people who are crazy about growth. You should be a part of this community, so subscribe. Ownership means taking responsibility for the success and outcomes of whatever is placed in your hands. Imagine having a business or an organization, and you have employees that carry the business on their head like it is their home. When people employ you, they want you to treat the things in their businesses, the operations, the processes, and everything that goes on in the business like it is your own, because they believe that you treat your stuff with care, you treat your stuff with caution, and when it comes to yourself, like, you just have a profitability mindset. You don't want things to go bad. And that's what people look for, somebody that has an ownership mindset to handle stuff in the organization. Let me tell you a story. When I was like around, I think 12 or 11 years old, my parents went out and they left me with my younger brother. We were at home, and then we were having fun, playing as usual and all of that. And somewhere in between that play, my younger brother asked that I helped him with the car key. My dad had left his car at home and he went out. So there was a place where the car key was hung. He asked me to help him with the car key, and me, mindlessly, without thinking twice about it, I helped him, because like, it's not on the loft to pick the key. So I helped him and I gave him the key. He went to the car, and I don't know what he did. Maybe he switched it on or something. The engine ran down. And when my dad came back, I think he had administration later that day, and he took the key and went to the car and found out that the battery of the car was dead. It was bad. And, you know, when he came and he asked that, what happened to the car? To the car? Me now, in my own mind, as far, it's not me. I didn't even do anything. I didn't even go to the car. So what concerned me? I was just like, oh, I think it is my brother who he took the car. He asked for the car key and I gave it to him. It was said it casually. Like, it didn't concern me. At least it's not me that took it. And then, I just saw that. Of course, my dad disciplined my brother. I took the highest percentage of the discipline, because he made a statement that he expected me to take ownership, to be the leader in the room. But me, in my own childish mindset, I didn't see myself as somebody that was kept in my care. So I didn't handle things with an ownership mindset. I just felt like everybody, whatever you do, you're going to take your own blame, and the blame is for you and all of that. So I did not take ownership. And he expected me to take ownership because he thought that I had come to a level of maturity. What I'm trying to say is that ownership is maturity. Let me explain it further by saying, you know how when you have a baby, you don't care for anything. They don't care if the dishes are washed. They don't care if you lock the door. They don't care if rain is falling and you close the windows or not. They don't care. They literally don't have a care in the world. They can sleep off in the sitting room and wake up on the bed because you carried them. They have no sense to take care of things. But as you start to grow older, and as you enter into maturity and adulthood, you start to take ownership of your life. Especially like when you start living alone. You start to care if your door is locked. In fact, if you go out and you become confused along the way, that did I lock my door or not? You likely come back to check, because it is your own home. You are taking ownership. You start to care if your windows are locked when the rain is falling. You start to care about what to eat. You start to plan in advance, and that is maturity. So ownership is maturity. It is what happens when you start coming into maturity. You know, when you're a child, you speak like a child, you understand like a child, you think like a child. But when you're a man, you put away childish things. So ownership is going above and beyond, stepping up when it is needed, and proactively seeking solutions instead of just casually waiting for instructions. So how do you develop an ownership mindset? Ownership has a lot to do with taking control. And that's why the first way to develop an ownership mindset is to take initiative. Don't always be the one that waits for instruction. If they don't tell you to do this, you're not going to do it, even when you see that there's a need in that particular place. Nobody wants an employee who will just watch their business die, who will watch their business suffer, who will see that there's a particular problem in a particular area of the business and will just overlook it because it is not their own. You're not thinking like an owner. And the fact is that if you don't know how to take responsibility for somebody else's business, it's going to be very difficult to take responsibility for your own, even though you lie to yourself. Now, the reason why you're like that is because it is not your own. Take initiatives. Be proactive. In fact, don't wait for problems to happen. You can anticipate what could happen. Okay, if I do this, what if this goes wrong? What if that goes wrong? And already prepare a solution in advance. Somebody who takes ownership is also somebody who is very accountable. When I mean accountable, I mean that when something happens or something goes wrong, maybe you have a task or an assignment and you're supposed to carry it out, and then something goes wrong, something happened, you take responsibility. You don't start looking for somebody to pass the blame to. You don't start running round circles. You take responsibility. Take ownership. Okay, this went wrong, but this is what I'm going to do to make it better going forward. Or this is how I'm going to ensure that things don't happen like this again. And when you are being accountable, you're not just accountable in your mind. You communicate that you take responsibility for this. If something goes wrong, I take responsibility for this. This is what I'm going to do so that it doesn't happen again. Or this is what I should have done so that it doesn't happen like this. But somebody who doesn't take accountability, somebody that misses a deadline, and you just chill, you wait for them to come and ask you before you do it. That's acting like a child. Maturity is, I'm wrong, I take responsibility for it, and this is what I'm going to do to fix it. So when you're given a task or something at work, you just want to make sure that as long as it has your name on it, you're taking full responsibility, you are providing updates when necessary, you are showing up when necessary, that people have the mindset that you see this person, you see Oyindamola, no matter what you put in her hand, it is not going to die. She's going to do whatever it takes for that project to be successful. And that's how you want people to see you. Not that, if you give her the stats, you don't know how she's going to perform. People must see you and have the mindset that there's nothing you put in her hands, there's nothing you put in his hands, that she's not going to go an extra mile to make sure that it doesn't fail, such that even when something goes wrong, they automatically have a mindset that you must have tried your best. Somebody with an ownership mindset sets high standard. They are not the kind of people that are always looking for average, or let me settle for less, or let me just do whatever I need to do to avoid complaints. They are people who set high standard, who want things to be at the best place possible. They are the people who carry the mindset of a boss. Like, if they are going to say that Oyindamola did this thing, it has to be every shade of excellence. And it takes a lot of discipline to operate from that level. Showing up when you're tired, even when you don't feel like it, knowing that I cannot put out anything that is short of excellence. You also need to be somebody who embraces challenges. You're not the kind of person that, oh, something came up and you're the first person to always run to the back. Everybody knows that you avoid tough tasks. So when major stuffs come up, nobody wants to call your name because they know that anyway you say I'm not available, I can't do it. You are the one that is full of excuses. If you are somebody with an ownership mindset, you have to be somebody who is willing to embrace challenges, who is willing to go to the forefront and do things that nobody wants to do, that nobody else wants to do, because you have an understanding that it is in the place of doing hard things that you learn and grow. There are some challenges that you are going to put your foot forward for to solve, that if you successfully solve them, you can never remain the same person. Something about you will change forever because you're able to overcome that hurdle. And that's how you should be seeing challenges as somebody that has an ownership mindset, because it's not possible for somebody to build a successful business without having challenges in between. But if you, as an employee, you are somebody that is supposed to be helping them execute their vision. If you, who is an employee, runs away from every challenge, and every employee is like you, the business is going to crash. So put your foot forward to solve bigger challenges so that you can change, so that you can go, because you know that it is in the crushing and in the pressing that new wine comes out. So don't be the one who runs to the back every time. Also, somebody with an ownership mindset knows how to think long term. You are considering the future of the business. You are considering the future of the people that you are working with. You are not just saying, what can I get out of this now? Or what can I get out of this now? You understand your role and its impact in the organization and in the company. You know how what you do affects bottom line, how the skills that you bring to the table, how it affects revenue. You have an understanding of how important you are in the organization. So you know how to own your role, and you know how to think long term. And those are the kind of people that employers are happy to promote. They're happy to praise. They're happy to recommend. All that I'm trying to say is that somebody who has an ownership mindset is somebody that is trustworthy. And for it to be appearing in almost every job description, it is a mindset that you should have. Because you, when you set up your business, you're also going to expect it from other people that you're going to be paying. So if you are being paid, if somebody is going to pay you to work, the person should be able to trust you with the work. You should be the kind of person that we can say that if we leave this thing in her hand, if we leave this thing in his hand, we are absolutely sure that he or she will do whatever it takes to make sure that it comes out good. We can trust her. We can trust him. You should be a trustworthy person. Sure you get. I hope this helps you. If you have been able to learn one or two things from this video, please like, comment one time at all where you had to take ownership. How did you do it? How did you overcome any challenge? Share this video and subscribe. Thank you for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.